Picture this. It's February 2023, and the UK media is in an absolute frenzy. Why, you ask? Well, a Nigerian billionaire, the mysterious Dozy Mmobuosi, is apparently gearing up to drop a jaw-dropping £90 million to snag the beloved professional football team Sheffield United. Now, football is practically a religion in Britain, and Sheffield United holds a special place in the hearts of fans across the country. But who on earth is Dozy Mmobuosi, and where did he come from? Dozy. Let's rewind a bit. Dozy, the man of the hour, is the brains behind Tingo Mobile. Delving into Dr. Dozy's past, a profile on Vanguard News paints a picture of a self-proclaimed entrepreneur from a young age. From show promoter to running a magazine, selling secondhand clothes, and even envisioning an online video platform before YouTube, he seems to have done it all. He describes himself as the general and boasts about presenting innovative ideas to banks and insurance companies in Nigeria. This tech wizard took Tingo public on the Nasdaq in December 2022 through a reverse merger, soaring to a valuation of over $1 billion at its peak. Tingo's grand mission? To revolutionize agriculture in Nigeria, connecting farmers to an efficient online payment network and a bustling. But plot twist. In November 2023, the SAC decided to rain on Dozy's parade. They not only suspended trading in Tingo shares, but also dropped a bombshell of charges, accusing Dozy of orchestrating a colossal securities fraud. According to the SEC, Tingo's business operations were essentially a house of cards. Nearly everything was fake. That impressive 9 million customer count, closer to zero. That hefty $60 million in the bank, try less than 2,000 cards. Buckle up, because in this video we're diving deep into the wild ride of how Dr. Dozy managed to turn a seemingly non-existent empire into a Nasdaq-listed billion-dollar extravaganza. Get ready for a roller coaster of twists and turns, and a splash of scandal. Because in the world of Dr. Dozy, things are never as they seem. This is Eric of Millennial Money Minds. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button before we continue. It's 2001, and Dr. Dozy has a brilliant idea. Recognizing that many farmers in Nigeria were strapped for cash, he starts Tingo, a company that leases cell phones to these hard-working folks. It's like Netflix for phones. But for farmers.
Tingo is first beyond one of our businesses does agri fintech. We provide financial inclusion services to smallholder farmers in Nigeria, and now we are in Ghana, we're in Malawi, and we've just set up in Dubai. But
the leasing model was a hit, making phones more affordable for those with tight budgets. Fast forward a bit, and Tingo evolves into something even more exciting: an online marketplace, accessible through those very smartphones. By 2019, Dozy and Tingo Mobile have rocked the world, leasing phones to a whopping 9 million farmers across Nigeria and raking in hundreds of millions in revenue. The dream? To hit the big leagues of the U.S. stock exchange. Dozy applies to list Tingo on the New York Stock Exchange in 2020, aiming for that international recognition and a capital boost for future plans. International. 𝐊𝐄𝐃𝐄𝐿, the supposed mobile payment app he created, denies his involvement, and it turns out he faced legal issues in Nigeria over bad checks. In 2019, Dr. Dozy claimed to launch Tingo Airlines, but investigations revealed he merely photoshopped logos onto airplane images. Despite urging customers to fly with Tingo Airlines, it turned out to lack a license from the Nigerian Communications Commission for mobile phone sales. Tingo's food division, boasting over $500 million in revenue, lacked a processing facility and used stock photos for a planned facility. The agricultural export business claimed an ambitious $1.34 billion in exports, surpassing Nigeria's entire annual 2022 agricultural exports. The list of deceptions includes forged point-of-sale system claims and photoshopped images. Tingo's office, visited by Hindenburg, was mostly empty, with a tax delinquency notice posted. Dr. Dozy somehow convinced Deloitte Israel to approve his company's accounts, raising questions about why an Israeli office audited a Nigerian company listed on a U.S. exchange. The real trick was a U.S. exchange listing through a reverse merger, lending Tingo an appearance of respectability, facilitating capital raising despite the growing web of lies and lack of substance. In July 2021, he sells Tingo Mobile to iWeb, an OTC-listed company based in Thailand. Now, iWeb was no stranger to adversity, having failed in its original software-selling venture in Thailand. To keep their ship afloat, they need a game-changer enter Tingo Mobile. The acquisition, valued at a jaw-dropping $3.7 billion, was an all-stock merger. Game-changer enter the Tingo Inc. Saga takes unexpected turns in its quest for financial prominence. Initially aiming to join the New York Stock Exchange, Tingo faces barriers in market cap, share price, liquidity, and corporate governance. Unfazed, Dozy orchestrates a creative maneuver, selling Tingo's mobile operating company to MCT, a NASDAQ-listed Chinese player, which transforms into the Tingo Group post-merger. Dozy secures 75% ownership for Tingo Inc. shareholders and becomes co-CEO. 2023. The financials appear impressive, with the merged entity boasting $2.4 billion in revenue and $300 million in net income within 9 months of 2023. However, a surprising twist emerges in February 2023. Tingo Group announces a $1.6 billion investment to build Africa's largest food processing plant in Nigeria. This move, coupled with Dozy's bid to buy Sheffield United and involvement with Tingo Airlines, raises eyebrows. And Tingo's plan involves buying raw food from farmers through the Tingo Mobile Agriculture Marketplace, processing it, and selling finished products in Nigerian grocery stores. The acquisition of Tingo Foods, founded by Dozy, adds complexity due to apparent conflicts of interest. Despite generating $400 million in revenue in its first 4 months, suspicions arise as Dozy's claims become harder to verify. Investigative journalists uncover questionable practices, including Dozy's role in paid promotional articles and his listing as a director of Tingo Airlines, a company with no evidence of operational flights. The narrative prompts scrutiny of Tingo Group's credibility, transparency, and the legitimacy of Dozy Mmobuosi's activities, leading to concerns about the unfolding financial saga. The Tingo Group, led by Dozy, engaged in a massive financial fraud scheme. The plan involved acquiring Tingo Foods, founded by Dozy himself, and presenting it as a successful business despite being essentially non-existent. The company claimed to generate billions in revenue and millions of customers through its Tingo Mobile Agriculture Marketplace, but investigations revealed widespread deception. Dozy appointed a remote board of directors, and one member, Christophe Charlier, resigned citing a lack of communication and teamwork. Financial statements, audited by a Deloitte affiliate based in Israel, were manipulated with forged bank statements showing inflated transactions and revenue. Dozy created fake suppliers like 𝐊𝐄𝐘𝐿 Technologies China and forged communications to deceive auditors. Tingo Mobile claimed to have millions of customers through partnerships with Nigerian farming cooperatives, but these cooperatives and their revenues were also fabricated. Tingo Foods, presented as a billion-dollar business, had no real existence beyond CGI renderings. Dozy took advantage of the inflated share price to sell hundreds of millions of dollars in shares, using the proceeds for personal luxuries. The stock has been halted since November pending an SEC investigation, and Dozy faces charges of securities fraud with a potential 45-year prison sentence. The case exposes the brazenness of the fraud, with Dozy creating a fictitious business that fooled auditors, board members, and investors. The remote nature of board and auditor operations, with members in Europe and Israel, allowed the deception to persist. The situation is reminiscent of other fraudulent cases, emphasizing the importance of thorough due diligence and local verification in assessing the legitimacy of businesses. That wraps it up for this video. What do you think about Tingo Mobile? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next One Millennial Money